Hey everybody, this is Steven from the Misplayers, and today I'm going to bring you a black-white control deck for the standard format. So the first two cards of the deck are two copies of Sorin Grim Nemesis. The reason I have Sorin in here is for his +1 to basically try to burn down your opponent while generating hand advantage. Next we have two Gonti, Lord of Luxury. He is a 4-drop 2/3 with Death Touch, and whenever he enters the battlefield, you can look at the top 4 cards of your opponent's library, exile one of them face down, put the rest at the bottom of your library, and may cast it as long as he's on board and it's exiled. Next we have two Gisela the Broken Blade. She's a 4-drop 4/3 with Flying First Strike and Lifelink, and basically I don't have Bruna in the deck, so her other ability is irrelevant because she can't transform. Next we have two Kumbal, Console of Allocation. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and I gain 2 life. Next I have 4 copies of Drawness Emissary. She's a 3-drop 2/2 with flying, and at the beginning of each of my upkeeps, each opponent loses 1 life and I gain 1 life. And finally, well, not finally, but 4 Lone Rider. It's a 2-drop 1/1 with First Strike and Lifelink, and at the beginning of my end step, if I gained 3 or more life, I can transform it. Its transformed card is, if I can get out of the sleeve, is a 4/4 First Strike Trample Lifelink. So it's good with the other cards that help generate life gain, and then once it transforms, it's just there to punch your opponent real quick and get him out of the game as soon as possible. And last up for creatures is 4 copies of Night Market Outlook. Whenever Night Market Outlook becomes tapped, each opponent loses 1 life and I gain 1 life. Moving on to instances, we have 2 copies of Acrobatic Maneuver. I can exile target creature card I control, then return it onto the battlefield in its original controller's battlefield, and then draw a card. Next we have 4 Anguished Unmaking. Exile target non-land permanent and lose 3 life.
Seems a bit much, but alright.
Well, I have way more removal than that, so... 4 Essence Extraction.
Jesus.
Deals 3 damage to target creature and I gain 3 life. Next we have 3 copies of Live Fast. I draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, and get 2 energy. Now, because 8 removal cards wasn't enough...
Here we go.
4 copies of Ruinous Path.
Jesus.
It destroys target creature or planeswalker, and it has Awaken. The only real downside to this card is its sorcery speed, but it is what it is in Standard, so...
It's bad Hero's Downfall.
Yeah, it really is. And next we have 3 Authority of the Consul. Creatures your opponent's control enter tapped, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, I gain 1 life. And now for land, it should be 10 plains and 10 swamps. So moving on to the sideboard, we have 3 Blessed Alliance. It is a 2-drop with Escalate for 2 generic. Its modes are target player gains 4 life, untapped up to 2 target creatures, and target opponent sacks an attacking creature. So it's basically more removal for a very heavy creature-based deck with the ability to untap cards to block and life gain. Next we have 3 Collective Brutality. It's a 2-drop with Escalate, discard a card. Its modes are target opponent reveals his or her hand, choose an instant or sorcery from it, that player discards it. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn, or target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Collective Brutality is really in there for its hand attack mode. Next we have 4 copies of Transgress the Mind. Target player reveals his or her hand. You choose a card from it with converted mana cost 3 or greater and exile that card. This card is really there to, one, look at your opponent's hand, and two, for decks that run bigger cards, trying to get them out so you don't have to deal with them. Then 4 copies of Lost Legacy. So you name a non-artifact, non-land card, and search target player's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards with that name, and exile them. That player searches his or her library, or shuffles his or her library, then draws a card for each card, exiled that way. So it's really there to try and get rid of pesky cards that you saw in Game 1 that might hinder you. The draw is a setback, but you just have to deal with it.
It's worth it to get rid of their win cons.
And finally, 1 copy of Authority of the Console, because if 3 copies in the main board wasn't enough life gain for Game 1, maybe a 4th will do it. So that's it for my black-white control deck, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.